for somebody who's gone through such hardship, the loss of your father, the loss of your son, but you still have this ability to create. You have this ability to look in the positive and then still help other people. And you talked about, instead of seeing them as challenges, you're seeing them as qualities and stepping stones. How does one get that mindset to not dwell on the negatives and the hardships and adversity, and focus on expanding and helping and impacting other people?
Are you familiar much with Greek history and the story of the Oracle of Delphi?
The only word I recognize there is oracle.
Oracle. Okay, well,
really.
An oracle is a person who predicts things and offers wisdom. And there was a woman called the Pythia who sat in this cave in the temple of Apollo, the god Apollo, and people would come from other lands even for her wisdom. And it was as if the god was speaking through her. And above the cave was etched into the stone the words, "Know thyself." And I think that because of where I landed by fate in the hierarchy of my family, I'm the middle child of three. And so I was, if I wasn't scapegoated, I was ignored, and I much preferred being ignored. And so during those times when I was left to my own devices, those are the times that I went into libraries and studied the things that I felt compelled to study and had questions about. And I remember being 10, 11 years old in the middle of the capital city of Brazil, hopping a local train or a bus and just taking the bus to wherever I wanted to go, to a museum or, you know, to the middle of town or whatever. I had no fear. I had no issues. I had no, you know, fear of being abducted or anything like that. My family didn't know where I was. And then I showed up for supper, you know. I had my adventure that day. And that I attribute to my mother. When we lived in Vienna, Austria, we lived in a little wine village right on the outskirts of town. And there was a train that stopped right in front of our villa. And I was only 7 years old at that time. 6 or 7, and she would give me a shilling and put me on the trolley, and it would take me I wasn't allowed to get off until it dropped me off back in front of my door, because it would go all around the town and then come back to our front door. And that gave me a sense of independence, a sense of curiosity about the world, the wider world than the little bubble that I was in. So again, there are those moments, those pivotal moments that guide you in a particular way. I think we are living in a very fearsome world right now for many people, and anxiety producing, especially for young people. And so, you know, there are skills, and brings us to the life skills conversation. There are skills out there that we all learn. There are 8 billion of us now on the planet, and we all learn the same essential, basic, universal life skills. Things like emotional literacy, things like financial literacy, things like sexual literacy, communication skills, grieving, nutrition, hygiene, right? These are things that no matter what culture you're in, no matter what corner of the world you live in, those are things that every human being learns. It's not a question of whether we learn them. It's a question of how well do we learn them and from whom, and how equipped were our teachers, whether they're our parents, grandparents, school teachers, whatever. And so I feel like what I can be for people who are looking for it, because you can lead a horse to water, right? You can't make them drink.
Yeah.
They have to be looking for progression. They have to be looking to become more proficient in any number of skills. And so what I can do is be a bridge, like the bridge right behind you in your picture. I can be a bridge to getting people to meet those masters in the skill that they are wanting to amplify, right? We already have all the skills. We've always been learning them, but how well? And so just like if we wanted to learn how to cook a certain cuisine or learn a sport or learn a language, we go and find a master to teach us those skills, right? We don't talk about finding masters in a particular life skill.
Right.
And nobody, and I mean nobody, is a master in all of them. And then we're in a perpetual classroom. We're always striving toward proficiency in all the skills. But there are people who have mastered certain skills to the degree that they have, and they are the basis of my podcast. Those are the people I'm finding who have mastered a skill or other. And we talk about that on the level, just as two friends having a cup of coffee, very organic flow conversation. So what I can be is somebody on the journey, a signpost on the journey for lost travelers to say, hey, you want to learn about this, go talk to this person. Or I have some of those skills that I can help you with myself. Let me help you with those. Or go and talk to Fong because he's a master at that. So that's kind of how I help. That's an exciting position to be in. I feel very privileged to be in that position.
Nice.
Absolutely.